fee back in, because you indicated when you first were putting the fee, said, okay, if you guys are going to put the fee in, this is what you've been saying all along, so why did they just blindly go along and act like, well, the mayor never said he wanted us to leave the fee out?
I am surprised. First of all, many times very publicly I've said that as the economy improved and as we could, we would eliminate or reduce city fees. I've said that many times, and you've all heard that as well. And so I was surprised that they seemed to be surprised that was in there. And I'm surprised they did take it out. I mean, it was again, it's really the right thing to do, and they had the opportunity to actually eliminate a fee.
Is there, I think just to make sure people understand, taking that money out doesn't leave the flood wall vulnerable. It's not like the city's not flush with money, but it's not like there isn't money to keep the flood wall maintained without that money.
No, it's not that at all. You know, this year we were able to finally begin forming a stormwater utility. It's part of the stormwater management plan, which includes a flood wall. And the fact of the matter is there's more money in that plan than there ever was before, and certainly for the flood wall. There's $560,000 in there. And even if we reduce it a like amount, for raises, there's still plenty in there to start the stormwater utility.
If they go ahead and override you, are you concerned that there will be they'll be easy to find 6 votes to just override, or do you think that they'll now see the light and after you vetoed it, maybe look at it again and say, okay, we understand, or do you just think they'll say, hey, we said what we said, we got 6 votes, we're ready to go?
No, I'm hoping that they will actually see the light on this, and I'm hoping that they don't override the veto and take another look at it, because again, I gave them a very, very easy fix. Again, they get to keep what they want, and I get to eliminate, we get to eliminate the flood wall fee like was intended. And frankly, I see no reason, I don't see the complication in this issue at all.
Are you concerned at all? I know you mentioned it here, but are you concerned at all about a wedge between the mayor and council?
No, I'm not concerned about that. I mean, they know how I feel about the flood wall fee, and as I mentioned in the message, mayors, we don't get to vote on legislation. We don't get to vote on any issues, and this is our only official way of having input into an issue. Through a veto.
Are there other fees that you've had in mind that as the economy gets better, as other revenue comes in, or with this fee that you'd like to see eliminated? I know this just happens to be the first one, but you said as the economy gets better, you'd like to do more of this if possible.
Yeah, I think the fire fee is another one that's based on square footage that I'd like to see reduced. I mean, I've never been a fan of the police fee, but the fire fee is something that we could probably start reducing more easily because it is by the square foot. We just simply reduce the amount of money on a square foot for business and residences, and but eventually, if state legislation ever changes down the road, and I'm talking about probably a decade or so, I mean, there's a good possibility that cities could get away from all city fees in lieu of different property tax structure or other tax structures.
Because this police fee is just simply a name that to replace the old revenue sharing from decades ago. So it's not really, I think a lot of people think that I'm paying for the police part. That's not really what it does, because the police cost more than just that fee. So would there be a possibility of restructuring the fee system, and even if you don't officially call it an income tax or whatever, like they're trying to do in Huntington under the test that they're doing, that there might be some realignment and it wouldn't necessarily just be called a police fee or a fire fee or what have you?
There is. I mean, there's opportunity to just have a municipal fee of some type, eliminate, like you just said, the fire fee and the police fee, do something a little bit different, but reduce the fees at the same time. You were exactly right. The police fee came into effect when all of a sudden revenue sharing went away. I mean, it was dropped very quickly. And the city needed to make that difference up, and they made it up by instituting a police fee. And the fire fee came just about the same time, maybe for the same reason. And But anyhow, that's yeah. It could be done. It could be done much differently. But I do know that we can reduce fees, city fees, as the economy improves. I mean, the user fee, again, as I said, was not a bailout. It was to provide services, and it is to collect fees from people who use the services, not just residents of the city. And way before St. Joe even announced their consolidation, I discussed it with City Council. It was discussed in a committee meeting. I sent a memo even before that to City Council that I only supported them in raising any revenue fees if in fact, or any revenue if in fact we start reducing some of these other city fees. I simply don't think city residents should be left alone or left to pay for and support all the services we provide alone, because we provide it to so many more people.